Foggy headlights aren't just an aesthetic problem. According to safety studies in the United States, heavily oxidized headlights can reduce nighttime visibility by up to 70 to 80%. That's the difference between spotting a deer on the road or not. And here's the crazy part. Replacing modern headlight assemblies on many cars and trucks sold in the US can easily cost anywhere from $600 to over $1,000. But here's the truth most dealerships won't tell you. In most cases, you don't need new headlights. You just need the right method. Today, I'm going to show you 5 fast fixes and 1 permanent solution that can make your foggy headlights look almost brand new. Some of these cost just a few dollars, some work better than others, and one of them can actually make things worse if you're not careful. Make sure you stay until the end, because the last method is the only one that truly lasts long term. Let's get into it, starting with the quick fixes. Solution number 5, the toothpaste method. This is probably the most famous DIY headlight trick in America. And surprisingly, it actually works. Not because toothpaste is magical, but because of what's inside it. Most whitening toothpastes sold in the US contain mild abrasives like baking soda or silica. These act like extremely fine sandpaper. When you rub toothpaste onto a plastic headlight lens, it gently removes the top layer of oxidation and surface grime. That's what makes the lens look cloudy in the first place. The process is simple. Take a regular whitening toothpaste, not gel, and squeeze a generous amount onto a clean microfiber towel. Rub it onto the headlight using small circular motions, applying steady, even pressure. Don't rush this. Spend about 3 to 5 minutes per headlight. As you work, you'll notice the toothpaste turning slightly gray. That's oxidation being lifted off the plastic. Once you're done, rinse the headlight thoroughly with clean water and dry it with another microfiber towel. Right away, the lens should look noticeably clearer. Now for the downside. This fix is temporary. Toothpaste offers zero UV protection, and UV radiation is the main reason headlights oxidize in the first place. On a car parked outdoors in states like Florida, Texas, or California, the fog can return in just a couple of weeks. You can slow this down by applying a coat of car wax afterward, but think of this as a short-term cosmetic improvement, not a real repair. But what if I told you there's something else in your house, probably sitting in your kitchen right now, that works in a totally different way? Let's move on to solution number 4. Solution number 4, baking soda and vinegar. If toothpaste is the king of quick fixes, baking soda and vinegar are the old-school science experiment that still gets results. Baking soda acts as a mild abrasive, while vinegar breaks down surface contamination and helps loosen oxidation. To do this, mix 3 parts baking soda with 1 part white vinegar until you get a thick paste. Grab a soft sponge or microfiber cloth, dip it into the mixture, and start rubbing it onto the headlight lens in firm circular motions. Make sure you cover the entire surface evenly. If the paste dries out, just apply more. After about 3 to 5 minutes, rinse the headlight thoroughly with water and wipe it dry. You'll usually see a brighter, clearer lens right away. Here's a little variation many people in the US swear by. If you don't have vinegar, cut a lemon or even an orange in half. Dip the cut side into baking soda and rub it directly onto the headlight. The natural citric acid reacts similarly to vinegar, and the oils from the fruit help clean the surface. Just like toothpaste, though, this fix doesn't protect against UV damage. Without a sealant, the fog will come back in a few weeks. Still, for something that costs almost nothing, it's a decent short-term solution. Now, this next method is where people start getting desperate. It wasn't designed for cars at all. It was designed to keep mosquitoes off your skin. And yet, people spray it straight onto their headlights. Solution number 3, bug spray with DEET. This one makes me cringe every time I see it. Yes, it works. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Bug sprays that contain DEET work because DEET is a strong solvent. It doesn't just repel insects. It actually softens and partially melts plastic. When you spray it onto a foggy headlight and wipe it off, the softened surface levels out, making the lens look clear almost instantly. But here's the problem. That chemical reaction strips away the factory UV protective coating. Once that coating is gone, the bare plastic underneath oxidizes faster than ever. I've personally seen headlights turn yellow again in a matter of days. In some cases, the plastic becomes brittle and starts cracking over time. If you're absolutely desperate and need a quick visual improvement, bug spray will give you that instant shine. But you're trading short-term looks for long-term damage. If you ever try this, wear gloves and keep it far away from your paint. DEET can damage clear coat and irritate your skin. So yes, it works, but it's like fixing a problem with a blowtorch. Fast results, bad consequences. Now let's move on to something that also comes in a can, but was actually designed to lubricate and protect, not destroy. Solution number 2, the WD-40 Quick Fix. WD-40 has been around in the United States since the 1950s, and almost every garage has a can somewhere. It's famous for loosening bolts, stopping squeaks, and freeing up stuck parts. And yes, it can make foggy headlights look clear again. WD-40 works by coating the oxidized surface with light oils and solvents. Spray a small amount onto a microfiber cloth, never directly onto the headlight, and wipe it across the lens using smooth, even strokes. Almost instantly, the lens looks darker, wetter, and clearer. But don't be fooled. This doesn't remove oxidation at all. It just masks it. After a rainstorm, a car wash, or a few days in the sun, the effect disappears and the fog comes right back. That said, if you're selling your car, taking photos, or heading to a car meet, it's a quick visual trick that works in a pinch. Just don't confuse it with a real restoration. These quick fixes can help, but they're all temporary. They buy you time, not results. There's one more method that sits between a hack and a true repair. And right after that, I'll show you the permanent solution I trust on every car I work on. If you care about safety, visibility, and not wasting money, you'll want to see what's coming next. Solution number 1, Headlight Restoration Kits. If you don't want to mess around with toothpaste, kitchen chemicals, or sketchy hacks, but you're also not ready for a full professional restoration, headlight restoration kits are the perfect middle ground. These kits are designed specifically for modern plastic headlights sold in the US, and they bundle everything you need in one box: sandpaper, polish, and usually some form of UV protection. No guesswork, no random products. Let me highlight 3 of the best options I've personally used. First, the 3M Headlight Restoration Kit. This one is a favorite in American garages for a reason. It uses drill-mounted sanding pads, which makes the process faster and more consistent. You get multiple grits, a rubbing compound, and a clear coat. It takes a bit of effort, but the results are night and day, and they last months longer than any household trick. Second, the Sylvania Headlight Restoration Kit. What makes this one stand out is the UV-blocking clear coat. That's the real secret sauce. You sand, polish, and then apply a UV sealant that actually bonds to the lens. When applied correctly, I've seen this last close to a full year, even on cars parked outdoors year-round. Third, the Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restorer. This is the budget-friendly option. It comes with lens wipes, a clarifying compound, and a sealing wipe. It won't cut as deep as the 3M or Sylvania kits, but it's very beginner-friendly and delivers a strong visual improvement fast. Most of these kits cost between $15 and $30 in the US and give solid medium-term results. They're not permanent, but they're miles better than rubbing toothpaste on your car. But if you want headlights that don't just look good today, but stay clear for years, you need to step up to the long-term, pro-level fix. This is the method I trust on every vehicle that comes through my garage. Let's break it down step by step. Step 1. Gather the right tools and products. These are exactly what I use for a true permanent restoration. Wet and dry sandpaper in 4 grits: 600, 1000, 2000, and 3000. Soak all of them in water before you start. A spray bottle filled with clean water. This is essential for wet sanding. Blue painter's tape and plastic sheeting to protect your paint. Microfiber towels, at least 4 or 5. Skip paper towels, they're useless here. 4 compounds, I use 3M rubbing compound for cutting and Miguiar's finishing polish for final clarity. A dual-action polisher with foam pads is optional. You can do this by hand, but it takes longer and more effort. For sealing, Turtle Wax UV wipes or a 3M clear coat spray work extremely well. And for safety, gloves, safety glasses, and a dust mask. That's your full setup. Step 2. Clean the headlight thoroughly. Do not skip this. Sanding a dirty lens is how people permanently ruin headlights. If you grind dirt into the plastic, you'll create deep scratches that are nearly impossible to remove. Start by washing the headlight with warm water and a drop of dish soap. Use a soft sponge and scrub lightly. Rinse completely. If there's grease, wax, or heavy road film, use 70% isopropyl alcohol on a microfiber towel. This cuts through residue fast. Dry the lens completely with a clean microfiber towel. Never use paper towels. They leave lint and can scratch the surface. I always keep 2 towels nearby, one for drying and one as a backup in case the first picks up grit. Wear gloves if you're using alcohol, it's tough on your skin. Most patchy sanding jobs happen because people rush this step. Once the lens is perfectly clean, you're ready to protect the paint. Step 3. Mask off the surrounding area. Ideally, I like to remove the headlight completely. It gives perfect access and the cleanest results. But I know most people in the US aren't comfortable pulling headlights off their car. So here's the safe method. Use quality painter's tape, blue or green, and plastic sheeting or even a trash bag. Tape carefully around the trim and paint, pressing the tape firmly so water and compound can't sneak underneath. Cover the fender, bumper edge, and hood if they're close to the lens. Don't rush this. Sandpaper finds gaps instantly. Pro tip: double layer the tape at the corners. That's where mistakes usually happen. With the paint protected, it's time to remove the fog. Step 4. Start wet sanding. If your headlights are heavily yellowed, start with 600 grit. If the haze is lighter, 800 grit will do the job. Always soak the sandpaper in water for at least 10 minutes before using it. Spray the lens with water and sand using straight horizontal strokes, overlapping each pass by about 50%. Keep the surface wet at all times. Never let it dry, or you risk overheating and damaging the plastic. Use light, even pressure. Don't force it. Let the sandpaper do the work. Sand for about 2 to 3 minutes per headlight, then wipe and inspect. Your goal is an evenly dull, frosted surface with no yellow spots. If you still see deep pits or discoloration, keep sanding a little longer. Once it's uniform, move up to the next grit. Step 5. Move to medium grit sanding. Stopping at coarse grit is a guaranteed mistake. Medium grits are what remove the scratches left behind. Switch to 1000 grit wet sandpaper. Keep it soaked and keep spraying the lens with water. This time, sand in vertical strokes, opposite your first direction. This crosshatch pattern ensures even leveling. Overlap your strokes by half and spend 2 to 3 minutes per lens. After that, move to 1500 grit using the same process. Rinse and wipe the lens between each grit to remove slurry. You should now see the surface looking smoother and more consistent. Pro tip: shine a flashlight across the lens at an angle. If you still see deep lines, keep sanding. Once it looks uniformly smooth, you're ready for fine grit. Step 6. Finish with fine grit sandpaper. This is where the lens really starts to transform. Fine grit removes the last visible scratches and prepares the surface for polishing. Switch to 2000 grit wet sandpaper. Keep it soaked and spray the lens before every pass. Sand horizontally with light pressure, overlapping each stroke. Work for about 2 minutes per lens and wipe clean. Then move up to 3000 grit and switch directions to vertical passes. Keep everything wet. After 2 to 3 minutes, the lens should look evenly frosted, not yellow or blotchy. Pro tip: finish with a quick crosshatch pattern, horizontal then vertical, to ensure a perfectly even surface. At this point, the headlight will look dull, but don't panic. That's exactly what you want. Now rinse the lens thoroughly and inspect your work, because the next step is where the real clarity comes back. Step 7. Rinse and wipe everything clean. This step matters more than people realize. If you skip the rinse now, you'll grind leftover sanding slurry straight into the lens during polishing, and that will ruin the finish instantly. I use either a spray bottle filled with clean water or a gentle stream from a garden hose. Completely soak the headlight and flush away every trace of sanding dust. Don't be shy here, more water is better than not enough. Once the lens is fully rinsed, grab a fresh, clean microfiber towel and dry it carefully. Never reuse a towel you used earlier in the sanding process. Even tiny grit trapped in the fibers can scratch the plastic. I always dedicate one microfiber just for drying at this stage. After drying, shine a flashlight across the lens at an angle. What you want to see is a smooth, even frost across the entire surface, with no shiny spots and no blotchy areas. If you notice uneven patches, that means oxidation is still hiding there. Go back with your fine grit sandpaper and fix it now. Once it looks uniform, the lens is properly prepped. Now we move into cutting the haze and restoring clarity. Step 8. Apply cutting and polishing compound. This is where a lot of people think they can jump straight in, because it looks similar to the quick hacks we talked about earlier. But notice something important. We've already gone through 7 critical steps before even touching compound. That alone tells you why this process delivers real, long-lasting results. This is not the place to cheap out. I've tested dozens of compounds over the years, and a few consistently rise to the top. For cutting power, I like 3M Perfect It rubbing compound. It's consistent, cuts plastic evenly, and doesn't create excessive dust. Another excellent option is Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. It's easy to find in the US, easy to use, and safe for plastic lenses. For the polishing stage after cutting, I trust Meguiar's Ultimate Polish or Mother's California Gold Micro Polishing Glaze. Both leave a slick, crystal clear finish that's ready for sealing. Here's how I apply them. I put a small pea-sized amount of rubbing compound on a foam cutting pad attached to a dual-action polisher. Set the machine to low or medium speed. Keep the pad moving at all times and never sit in one spot. Work a section for about 30 to 45 seconds, then wipe it clean with a fresh microfiber towel. Once the haze is gone, switch to the polishing compound with a foam finishing pad. Do it right, and the plastic will start to look glassy and clear. But we're not done yet. This clarity still needs protection. Step 9. Apply UV sealant or automotive clear coat. Sanding and polishing will make your headlights look brand new, but without protection, UV rays will cloud them up again in a matter of months. That's exactly why I don't recommend short-term fixes if you care about long-term results. You have 2 solid options here. The first is dedicated UV sealants. These are wipe-on or spray-on products that create a barrier against sun damage. I recommend Cerakote Headlight Restoration UV Sealant Wipes or Meguiar's Keep Clear Headlight Coating. Both are beginner-friendly and create a strong UV shield when applied correctly. The second option is Automotive Clear Coat Spray. If you want true professional-level durability, use a 2K clear coat like SprayMax 2K Clear Glamour. This is the same type of product body shops use. It chemically hardens and can protect your headlights for years. Just make sure you spray in a well-ventilated area, wear gloves and a proper mask, and tape off the surrounding paint thoroughly. No matter which route you choose, apply thin, even layers. With wipes or spray sealants, 1 coat is usually enough. With 2K clear coat, 2 light coats work best. Follow the product's curing instructions exactly. Skip this step or rush it, and you'll be doing this whole process again sooner than you think. Step 10. Let the sealant cure properly. This is the step most people rush, and it's the main reason headlights cloud up again or the coating starts peeling. Once the UV sealant or clear coat is applied, it needs time to fully cure. If you're using a wipe-on or spray-on sealant, avoid touching the headlights for at least 1 hour, and don't drive the car for 4 to 6 hours. The longer it sits untouched, the stronger the bond. For 2K clear coat sprays, patience matters even more. These products chemically harden, so I recommend letting the headlights cure overnight, ideally 12 to 24 hours, before exposing them to water, dust, or road grime. Keep the car indoors or under a cover if possible. Do not wash the car or let rain hit the headlights during this window. Rushing this step can undo hours of work. Step 11. Final inspection. Now comes the satisfying part. Once the sealant or clear coat has fully cured, step back and inspect the headlights in natural daylight. They should be crystal clear, with no yellowing or haze. Move closer and scan the surface with a flashlight to check for swirl marks or uneven spots. If you find minor imperfections, they can usually be corrected later with a microfiber towel and a finishing polish. And remember, every product I mentioned in this video is linked in the description below. Grab what you need, follow this process, and you'll see just how rewarding a proper DIY headlight restoration can be. That's it. Your headlights are officially back to life.